Welcome. I am so excited to be talking with Jen Allen today. She is the event director for Family Search International. One of the biggest events, one of my favorite events of the year, RootsTech, is coming up soon. And I'm just excited to dive in and ask you some questions. So welcome, Jen.
Hi, Tara. Thanks so much. It's exciting to be here with you virtually, right? We can make virtual work. I love it.
Yes, we'll take what we can get. We can still connect virtually. Just to start off, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and about RootsTech in general?
Yeah, sure. My name is Jen Allen. I have been working at Family Search for a lot of years. This event, actually, here in a few days, is going to be my 11th RootsTech that I've helped plan or execute. And so excited to be here. I'm still here. I'm not scared. I love my job. I love being here. And every year feels like a new challenge. And so we try to bring the excitement to all of you. So this year, RootsTech is coming to you virtual, all virtual again, just like last year. And we're excited for it. It's going to be March 3rd through the 5th. But what's incredible about this new virtual format is that's just kind of the live, exciting, all in the same moment experience. But then RootsTech lives on all year long with learning and sessions and classes that you can come back to all the time. So it's kind of adjusting, changing a little bit in this virtual world.
Yeah, which is exciting and which I love. I've been watching classes like the entire year, and I'm not caught up yet. And there are thousands of more classes headed my way, so I absolutely cannot wait. Now, the theme for this year, you can kind of see it behind me, is Choose Connection. I want to know a little bit more about how it was decided upon. How did you come up with the theme? And then how did it shape RootsTech for this year?
Yeah, great question. So when we ended our virtual event last year, we honestly sat in a room just talking about what we can do to increase the experience, the engagement, and really started thinking about all those people who could be joining, but maybe they're not yet. And how can we get a message of light and hope and peace out to them? And so Choose Connection actually was born a little bit as we started thinking about how we might bring RootsTech out to the channels that maybe other people are already hanging out, not making them come to rootstech.org, but how can we get something out to them? And Choose Connection felt very, open for all cultures, people all over the world. We all crave and want connection. And especially in the last few years, it's felt a little bit more like we're being told we're more divided than maybe we really are. And we loved this theme because it actually puts the action in all of us, that we have the choice to make. And we're encouraging people to choose to make that choice to connect with people. So as we did this, we started thinking again, how do we take this out to TikTok, to YouTube, to Instagram, and share a message of Choose Connection that will hopefully get them to be thinking about their own heritage, culture, their own story, and how they might connect. So when we decided on that theme, all the things that we were doing for the event really started falling into place. In fact, we have some incredible experiences that the engineers have built for all of us to connect. So all the pieces started coming together as we really focus in on that connection theme.
Mm-hmm. I am super excited about it because if you get on social media, it's already buzzing. Relatives at RootsTech is one of my favorite things. I'm so glad it launched 2 weeks early because I could spend an entire week just looking at how I am connected to my friends. And I have friends who, a couple of years ago, they liked genealogy, but it wasn't really their thing. They're posting about relatives around me before relatives at RootsTech before I am. So you're doing a good job, and it's working, and I'm already seeing the connections. Very exciting. And speaking of relatives at RootsTech, I looked us up. We're cousins. Yay. And I love it. So you said it was your 11th RootsTech, and we are 11th cousins.
Perfect.
The magical number.
It's awesome. I love it. Well, I always knew you were pretty cool, but clearly now that we're related.
We have the curly hair, our ancestor, I wrote it down, Daniel Eaton and Mary Ingalls from British colonial Massachusetts. We have deep roots. It's so fun. I love checking that out. So on that note, is there anything new that you've learned about your own family history since RootsTech 2021? Or like, what is your favorite new piece of technology, or what's something you've used that you learned about last year?
Yeah, well, I'll talk maybe a little bit on both of them, but this past year, what was crazy about relatives at RootsTech last year, there were so many people that reached out, and it was so hard because I was so busy during the event. And then all of a sudden, I think I got home. I don't know if it was the last night or one of the nights, and I'm just kind of scrolling through things, and I realized, oh my gosh, I haven't even opened my app. Like, look at all these people reaching out to me. So it was incredible, the people that I just discovered out there who were so warm and kind and reaching out saying, we're 11th cousins, or sometimes it was like 5th cousins, which was incredible, right? That gets so much closer. And just, I made a connection with a few people. I am not a great genealogist, I'll get that out there, but a lot of people were asking, hey, can I get your help with this ancestor? Or I've hit a brick wall here. But just being able to talk to people who are working on the same lines is incredible. It just warmed my heart to see so many people out there working on discovering their family, and they're ready to connect with any of those people who are trying to do the same. So that was kind of the big thing that I learned. It's just, there's people everywhere who are doing their best and trying, and we're all there, like, ready to connect with each other. So that was so much fun. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I'm really excited about specifically this year is just the different ways in which you can connect. We've talked about relatives at RootsTech. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. But that one's a little hard because you need a tree to find out, if you're connected. And so you probably have friends out there that don't have a tree yet, or haven't, mm-hmm. Dived that deep yet into their family history. And so that we have some other experiences that can be done that allow you to connect or to discover new things with somebody else that doesn't necessarily even have to have a login for Family Search and or a tree. And so there's this new surname experience where, again, we could go put our 2 last names in, Allen and Parker, and see the definitions of them and see where our last names would have converged in the world. It lists cool. 3 locations. And what's great about that is, you could do that with one of your good friends, and then it creates this shareable that you can then text or share with that friend saying, hey, look at our last names. And we probably have relatives in Germany or, whatever location it is. So mm-hmm. It's an opportunity to bring more people in who maybe aren't as deep users as you and I.
Yeah. I love that. I love that it brings that element of human connection. I think a common misconception of family history is that it's a person by themselves looking at records back in the 1500s. And I secretly actually really like doing things like that. But there's so much more to it. It's looking at the surnames, it's family recipes. And so I'm glad that there's that element at RootsTech too. Another question I have is, I was wondering if the RootsTech staff, if you ever get any success stories from people who have attended RootsTech and had a great experience with it. And I was wondering if there are any of those stories that you could share with us.
So we honestly hear so many great and positive things. We also hear some not so great things, which is totally fine. By the way, I want to hear it all. So everyone has free reign to tell me what you'd like to see improved and where we're getting it right. So, but last year there was a few very specific stories, and what was great is that they were global. So there was one specific one from like Australia who again was able to make a connection in one way or another with someone else that helped them figure out a problem to their genealogy that they've been working on for years. So that's a really great example again of the very, genealogy use case, right? But we also had tons of people who would just kind of drop in like, hey, I've never really been to RootsTech, don't really know what it's about, and watch one of the keynote speakers and were just moved by the inspiring story, and moved so much that they were like, how come I've never heard about this before? And what else can I do? And I can't wait to learn more. So stories that were very global last year. And that's the part that really makes you think, okay, there's something bigger than the Salt Palace, for example, in Salt Lake City, and bringing this experience to people all over the world. So incredible stories that just kind of flood in, especially in this virtual environment.
Mm-hmm. And that's very exciting to me. And I think that's a silver lining of the pandemic is the globalness of it. I connected with a cousin in Germany last year, and like 2 generations ago, his ancestor stayed in Germany and sister came to the United States, and we didn't really know about each other because the kids had been orphaned, and he was able to share family pictures and fill in this whole missing link. They wondered about the family in America. We wondered about the family in Germany. And it was amazing. So I had a success story too. But speaking of global, I'm really excited about the lineup of keynotes for this year. I've been following along on social media. I hope everybody's following Choose Connection and hashtag RootsTech and RootsTech Connect, because there's already so much content out there. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the behind the scenes, where you've been going, who you've been recording, who we get to see this year.
Yeah, of course. So what was so exciting about kind of finishing last year and really diving into this year is we came up with an idea of what if we go to these keynotes and their hometowns basically, and film their keynotes right there, either in their home or locations near their home, or in some cases we were able to put together kind of a small VIP type event where 100 people were in the room and we put the keynote on a stage, just like the old days, and filmed them that way. So we have some different ways in which we captured keynotes this year, which was really exciting. But being able to travel to these places to see these people in their own environment a lot of times. So one example is Molly. She's a food work star, and we were in her kitchen, in her home, and just filming her and asking her to share her story. So that was, one example. But some of these VIP events we were able to do, we went to Versailles near Paris. We were in Accra, Ghana, and we were in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I mean, I wasn't at all of them, but we sent team members, and we also have local teams with Family Search all over the world who helped us with these events. And so it was incredible to really capture the essence of that hometown, that culture, the heritage that comes with that. And it's funny to see their expressions change when they're in an environment that they love and know. So excited about that. I hope that everyone will give their feedback on which one they liked better, because we did a few different styles. So
I cannot wait to see them. They can't come fast enough. I'm super excited. Let's see. What advice do you have for someone who's coming to RootsTech virtually for the very first time? Maybe they're just checking it out, or one of those pop-ins who came because they wanted to see if they're related to their friend. What advice would you give to them for this experience?
Well, I would say just don't get overwhelmed. We're all doing family history in our own way. And because RootsTech tries to provide something for everybody, there are classes for professional genealogists. There are also classes for those very experienced, but then some for those just don't know anything. And so it can feel overwhelming when there's so much there. But my advice is come, peek in, experience, and look for something that's interesting to you. If you're interested in the food aspect or the dancing or the culture, or you even just know one of the keynote speakers and you want to come hear them, come and enjoy. RootsTech has this live experience for 3 days. Enjoy that experience, and then know that you can continue to learn from all those classes all year long. You just simply add them to your playlist and you can come back and kind of watch them at your leisure. So don't get overwhelmed. That's my advice. Come and just enjoy. And then really, my second piece of advice would be to make a connection, because that's really when it becomes magical. I don't know, that might be too big of a word, but it really is a discovery waiting for you to happen, to connect with somebody else.
Oh, awesome. I love that. And if they are new to RootsTech, like how, like I know the website because I visit it often, but like what's
Yes.
the website, the socials, and maybe remind us the hashtags again. And then maybe explain some of the other ways to connect. Like I loved the chat rooms last year.
Yes.
That was pretty fun. Maybe dive into that for us so that we know where to go and what to do.
Yeah. So right now you can go to rootstech.org and register for the event. But a little secret, you don't even have to register if you don't want. So let's say if you forget, it's okay. On March 3rd, you come and join us regardless, and join us at rootstech.org. That's where the experience will be taking place live during the event and forever always after. So join us there. Registering will allow us to remind you of what's coming up or to give you little tips and tricks along the way. So it does benefit you. But we are on all the social media channels under RootsTech. You can also follow Family Search and get some updates from both sides. We have some incredible exhibitors and sponsors coming too, so you can always follow them and get their updates. A lot of them have some very big product announcements planned for RootsTech. So even I don't know what they are. I'm excited to hear too. So there is a lot of different things going on. Trying to think what your second question was though. Oh, ways to connect. So other things that you can do, we mentioned the chat feature. So last year, that was a really big kind of fun thing that you could chat in during classes, connect with other people. So that will be back this year, but with some very big enhancements to make it a little bit easier to use and friendly. So you can chat with presenters in classes. Those presenters will kind of be engaging and responding. We'll have over 60 live sessions this year. So then people will be there in the moment, asking the presenter questions and chatting. You could be chatting with all those people who are watching that class at the same time. So there's so many different ways to connect with people and have even private chats or group chats, whatever you prefer. So
I love that. It's like a buffet. You can just choose your favorites and then the rest will be there waiting when you're ready for it. So we've talked about this year. I was wondering if we could talk about like what are your hopes, your dreams, your bucket list items for future RootsTechs?
Yeah, so it's all virtual this year. What's going to happen in 2023? That's the big question everybody has, including me. But one thing that I can say is this virtual experience has been so impactful that I don't see it going away. So even if and when, should we say that when we get together again, there will always be this virtual experience for those who aren't quite ready for the deep dive or who can't travel that far. And providing that language experience in the virtual part of it as well will always be there. Now, my hopes and dreams are that someday we're back together again. However, I have a feeling we won't be going back to exactly what RootsTech used to be. When we get back together, it will be this kind of hybrid environment and experience where we're doing things a little bit differently in person. that will enhance the virtual, or what we're doing in person, will help enhance the experience overall. So
Mhm.
it'll never go back exactly the way we had it, I'm pretty sure.
Well, and that's how it is with family history.
That's
There's
right.
always, and that's the whole RootsTech. There's always new improvements, and I'm just excited to see the best of both worlds. Thank you so much. I've loved all these answers to the questions, and it's just gotten me even more excited for March 3rd to get here. Is there anything else you'd like to mention that I didn't ask you about that you think people should know about for the coming weeks?
I feel like we covered it all, but there's just so much to be had in the whole experience. We mentioned the classes, there really is so much learning, but this year we will be bringing around 900 new sessions to the mix. And so luckily all those 2021 classes will still be there, but we're just adding some new sessions. And 900, that's a lot, right? But in 30 different languages, those sessions will be in. So I can't wait to just learn from all of those experts out there who are bringing their expertise and sharing it at RootsTech. So much learning to be had.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed our conversation today.
Thanks, Tara.